And I put the drops in my eyes this time.
Awesome.
That's what I was doing that the last. Glasses was dirty. Eyes was tearing. Everybody said, Uncle Buddy, what happened? You
What's
didn't look
going on?
good. You didn't look good, Uncle Buddy. You okay? I said, I didn't put my drops in. You do drops, Uncle Buddy? I go, yeah, I'm human, you know. I'm an old man, but I'm human. With me being sick, everybody's really shook, you know. They've never
All right,
seen
we are
this guy
live.
like that.
Hey, what's going on, Facebook? I hope you're all well. We're gonna wait. I'm here with Buddy. Oh shit. I hear everything. I hear everything twice. Okay, so now we should be good. Let me see if we have. Can you hear me,
Thank you,
buddy?
George.
You're
Yes,
welcome, buddy.
George.
Okay.
Thank you very much. This is great.
So we'll just wait a little bit. Just bear with me. I have to navigate kind of between two screens here.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Just there we
Better
go.
you than me.
Oh, please. What just happened
Better
to
you than me.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Not only do I have to navigate between two screens, I also have to navigate like a plethora of cables, which doesn't make life any easier, believe me. All right. So why does this not show me? Okay. I see your lovely wife is watching.
Hi, sweetie. I'm sorry.
It's
Say,
awesome.
listen, listen. Love of my life. What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do, bro?
No,
Come
no,
on,
you're totally right. You're totally right. All right, I'm trying to see if I can get live comments. Oh, there she is. Melanie is on. Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm turning the phones off.
Okay. So we got about 2 more minutes before everybody else is gonna hopefully is gonna join. But it should be up and running. This is you have to understand that we're doing this on Zoom, and then from Zoom, hey Melanie, what's going on? From Zoom, we're broadcasting live onto Facebook. So that's how that works. Okay, we got 3 live. Let me see. Awesome. Thanks so much for the comment, Melanie. Now I know that I can see it, because this way I'm trying to check the comments that are coming in on Facebook. Keeping in mind that whatever I see on the Facebook screen is 20 seconds behind what I'm seeing on the Zoom screen. So it's I'm gonna be dizzy for the rest of the day.
Busy.
Dizzy.
Dizzy. But listen, better you than me, my friend.
I hear you. I totally hear
I
you.
use 2 sticks and a piece of skin. Rat-a-tat-tat. I'm a Neanderthal. My kids hate me saying that, but it's the truth.
I got 4
strings. Too many wires and buttons, brother. Too many wires and buttons.
Frank Canino says hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Canino,
What's
the one and only. That guy's amazing, brother, and he dances while he plays. You should see him. Them knees be going in time, bro. You don't miss it.
You
don't miss it.
I know for sure.
He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he helped a lot, that Cornell, Dupree, Richard T thing. He'd remember them tunes for them.
Oh, hell
and they'd go, oh, yeah, okay, Frank. And go, yeah, Frank, remember them tunes, because they look at that encyclopedia of music.
Yeah. There's no end to that kind of information that he holds. That's really There was a big moment that I had with subbing on Mamma Mia of all shows, and it ended up being like the most difficult thing for me to do for whatever reason, and sure enough, like I had to call Frank Canino and ask his advice, and he just broke it down and gave me sort of a blueprint on how to prepare for subbing, right? Man, I've stuck with that ever since. For real, that's
yeah, he knows his stuff, bro.
That's
he
pretty
knows
deep.
Stuff.
That's really deep. Stuff. All right, so we're live. It's 3 o'clock, and This is another live video at George's base chat. And this time we're doing a Buddy Williams takeover. Everybody who's watching, everybody who's going to watch, please say hi to Buddy Williams, drummer extraordinaire and good friend, Brooklynite. And
Yay!
So what we'll do um, is basically uh, I'm going to give the reins over to Buddy with the help of a playlist that we made together of memorable albums and songs. Um, we're gonna try to. Alexis says, "Hey, buddy."
Hey, sis. Thanks for navigating us through this.
Yes, thanks.
She's air traffic control if there ever
You
was
see
one.
me sweating here?
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I'm with you. I got the hanky right over here.
This is crazy. So what we'll do is I'll introduce the songs and we'll play like a minute or so, and then have a couple questions for Buddy, or Buddy will help us out understanding what went into the music and why it sounds the way it does and why it makes us feel the way it does. All right.
Great.
And I think, whoa, we got 13 people already. Hey, what's going on? James Turner, Sadi Sane, Daniel Peters. I see you, Larry De La Cruz. What's going on? West
Zadi, that's
Coast.
too.
Sadi, the bass player. Yes.
Zadi, that's a bad boy there too, man. He
Yes,
can play,
yes,
man.
indeed. Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
yes. I know him.
All right. Carolyn Tiffany says hello, buddy. Miss
Oh, hey,
Carol.
Carolyn.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into it. Let me just make this screen a little bigger over here. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna make this all the way. So cool. All right. Well, this is sort of we're tagging on to what we did last week, right? And last week we did an appreciation of style, and you did mention a bunch of albums that influenced you or that inspired you to become a musician, right? And the one that totally stood out and that apparently is a big deal is Quincy Jones' album Quintessence, right? And so here is the first track of Quintessence. If it gets a little loud, just bear with us. Here it is. Can you hear this, buddy? Here we go. Quintessence. About a minute or so.
Yeah, before they cut us off, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to cut us off regardless. I believe that that's just going to happen, and we're just going to have to live with that, basically.
We apologize, folks. Those guys are groove busters with us playing music on the damn, especially when it's our music. So they call it, But okay, the Quintessence record was done by the great Quincy Jones.
Right.
I think it was the 60s. Right. That was Phil Woods playing the alto. I remember as a little boy going away for the summer to Monmouth, Illinois one year, the first year. They had albums laying around. You know how your parents and your relatives, they have albums, and I would always go through albums and see. And I played that, and I fell in love right away. I wasn't, I was playing piano and all that, but I had appreciation for music. And remember, I'm a musician's kid, so I heard music all the time. Right. But that record spoke to me, the sounds,
Right.
the harmony,
Right.
it was dancey, like it was, you see your parents do that, but they weren't dancing. This was just a great record, and each song comes after it's set up in such a way. There's a thing for Lenny and for Lena Horne and her husband. There's
Right. Straight no chaser.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's on there. That's great. Quincy. That was my introduction to Quincy Jones's writing
Right.
and his band, and Melba Liston's on there. So this
Mm.
just really applied to me. And hearing later on, I found out it was Grady Tate and all those different
Mm.
drummers. The approach to that, it's just like somebody heard Train, or
Right.
somebody heard Bird, or Jimi Hendrix. I'm using, folks that influence you. When I heard this record and I heard the drummers approach to that, I
Right.
assimilate that in my head when I'm playing with the big band and the thing.
Right. Right.
It made it sound approachable to do, but at that time, that was the embryonic stages of me even thinking
Right.
about playing the drums. I
Right.
wasn't making a living on playing the drums. That in no way. I was still the piano kid that had to go practice my
Right.
scales for a
It's
couple of
just
hours
some.
before I could go play. But boy,
It's
was
just
that,
something
it
that
got
spoke
poured
to
in my
you.
head.
Right.
I never forgot it. I
Right.
go to when I ride on the subway and I know it's going to be a certain amount of time. That's on my iPhone.
Right.
Hit that button. It's on the playlist. I just listen to Quincy, and
Right.
there's more Quincy records, but that was the first one
Mm.
of big band, and it spoke to me.
That
And
is sick.
later on, I've still referred to it.
Right. Now, one thing that might be interesting that I always like ask myself is when you heard um big band music, and then we're gonna go into your catalog of what you recorded, obviously, but go like to someone like Luther, go to someone like Dave Sanborn, whoever, Angela Bofill, that influence, how do you think, or how was it like a conscious thing where you took that influence from the big band music, from jazz, be it big band or small ensemble, and put it sort of into the R&B of the day, or like, is that something that you consciously did, or that just came out that way?
I, uh, all of that, all of the above. But let me say it like this: you said Luther. I'm
Yeah.
using that as an example. House
Right.
is not a home,
Right.
and Quintessence.
Right.
Hear the vibe.
Right.
What do I do here? Do I not? Do I not? When you know what I mean? There's
Yeah. Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
sounds like that. Yes, I heard House is Not a Home from the original Burt Bacharach with Dionne Warwick.
Of course.
Same thing, but that was a highly orchestrated thing too. But you
Right.
used good question, George. Quintessence and House is Not a Home. My approach in the subconscious. Now that you bring it up, Doctor, I I approached honest. I'm just saying. I approached it the same way, but I
Right.
didn't know it until you just brought it out of my head. I did because I never I never knew. I was just
Right.
listening to it as a kid, and
Right.
anytime I could get by that record player that they had, it sat on the floor or low to the ground, and my cousins, the Brookses, are gonna say, "Oh yeah, he sure did. He wore
Mm,
that out."
mm,
But
mm,
I
mm.
would play the quintessence. I'd play all of those tunes.
Right.
But I heard the orchestration with the French horns and all baritone
Right.
sax. I didn't know those instruments then. I know them now,
Of
and I
course.
know their place in the thing in orchestration. But yes, my approach from quintessence was put towards House is Not a Home, or all of them other ballads that I had to play, like with
Right.
Roberta,
Right.
or like you said, Angie, or any ballad that I had to play because, dynamics. The
Right.
dynamics was there, and
Right.
that taught me a lesson about approaching, your dynamics and applying your whatever you have to offer to the thing. Not
Right.
too much, not too, not too
Yeah.
loud,
Yeah.
not too soft.
No, I always thought that that was like an just an interesting subject, so to speak, because on the one hand, we all listen to music and certain things go in, right? Certain things stay with us, right? And then whether we analyze it or figure it out and go nitty gritty or whatever, certain things come out, whether we want them or not, you know.
Yes.
And with an artist like yourself, it's interesting for someone like me to find out, okay, well, what was he listening to, or what influenced him, and where did it come out, right? That is a very, very important sort of connection to make, right? whether
Yeah. Well,
you're
that was
whether
good,
you're
man.
you know, a music lover or a musician, like, you know, like I am, and like probably a lot of people who are watching are. So that's why I'm always curious about that. That's you know, that's just something that goes on in my mind. But you did mention Luther, and I think now would be a good time to play "House Is Not a Home," um,
Woo!
which also has the great Anthony Jackson on bass.
Yeah,
Um,
brother.
so let me just see that I can.
And Nat Adderley and them's arrangement. Gotta say
Right,
that.
right,
Nat
right,
boy. He,
right, right.
we
So
just
here we
follow,
go.
follow the leader.
Here's "House Is Not a Home" from Luther Vandross. Never Too Much. Check this out. All right, here we go. 1 minute in. Exactly.
Listen, that's a classic, classic, classic. Luther was so tight with his appreciation to Dionne Warwick.
Right.
He was the president of her fan club. I
Mm,
mean, talking about knowing every iota,
mm,
every drop of that was planned in his head.
right.
We all we had to do is just stay out the way.
Mm,
Just stay out the way.
mm,
They
mm, mm, mm.
and that was one take, the first take. A lot of folks don't want to hear that. Them guys, they wanted to do it two, three, 4 more times. This was the first take,
Mm,
and he kept the he kept the vocal from the first take, and then we did several. He did several more, and they did several more. But this was the one. Anthony
this,
Jackson. This is a bass show. I have to say the bass thing. He had that old bass, had that piece of wood that looked like Noah in the Ark.
yes.
That old, and it was gray. It wasn't even a brown. It was gray. That's how old it was. And he just turned the string, the E string down to the D.
Right. Right. Right.
And I mean, I want to say I'd never really experienced that like that. I
Mm-hmm.
knew they
Mm-hmm.
did it. This was before they even had the little lever that goes and it
Right.
goes down.
The
So I'm
detuner.
saying
Right.
that for you bass guys. He turned it like that, boop, and away we went.
Mm,
And we rehearsed it. And then the next time we did it, we did it. And then they went and listened, and it was great. Of course, Nat wanted to do it over.
mm-hmm.
We did one more. The other one was the one. Luther liked the other one, and those two guys are real hard to please. They're
Right.
not taskmasters. They just perfectionists. They know what they want when they want it, and it's
Exactly.
his party, and I'm
Right.
being quiet. So
Correct. Correct.
I'll say
Correct.
on the next song what I had to say when we went this same street that we're going down. I'm
Listen,
sorry, folks. I'm
listen.
sorry. Y'all know
Just
me.
just a quick shout out because our mutual friend Tom Barney joined, and
TB,
I want to say hi to Tom Barney.
TB,
Okay, that
TB,
this
TB. Where's that green base? Anyway, you're gonna get me on that one.
the green base is in my
Yeah,
memory
yeah, in your
files
head. Right, right,
forever.
right, right. TB. Okay, George.
So
I'll be quiet.
listen, no. This is all good. So let's play the first track from Never Too Much, just to give us sort of an idea of what we're talking about. But before we do that,
Yes, brother.
one that is let me just repeat the gravity of what was just said. One take, house is not a home. First take, straight through. Did I understand
Yes.
that correctly?
Yes, we rehearsed it. We ran it down one
Of
time
of
to
of
get the
course.
get the notes right, but we played it down. I'm telling you, Anthony went, oop. He
And
did
that
that
was it.
little, whoop. He
Yeah.
turned that key down, and we rehearsed it. We were at Media on 57th Street, all the
Mm,
way downstairs in the bottom of that church. It
mm,
used to be an old church,
right.
Edgar Allan Poe, all of that. At the bottom of that place, we were in that big room.
Mm,
Uh, he turned it down. We ran it down once. Next time the guy hit the button,
mm.
uh, there
That
we
was
go.
it. That
Now and
was
they
it.
took a break. They listened, and he says, "Nice, it was nice." Well, and of course they wanted to do
Right.
another one, but that first one was the
That
magic,
was
and
it. That was
I
it.
guess he did other takes as of the vocal and the thing, but that ended up being what we heard, what we did.
Right.
That's it right there, and that
And
was how wonderful it was working with him.
let me just ask you one thing, because I might have asked
Sure,
you this
brother.
before, but did you guys use kick on that album?
Uh, you know, I, I, I'm, I'm told that we didn't.
Uh-huh.
Nat makes a big thing about
No kick.
not no click.
That is crazy.
Oh, mm, okay, it's your show. I gotta say it. He said,
Okay.
"Oh, we got Buddy. We don't need no click." And I'd go, "Don't say that. No." But I just heard him
No,
say it on another interview. He
no
just said it on
pressure.
another interview. He had no pressure, right? But three hours. Believe me, they would tell you. They were so meticulous. They would tell you if it was Russian or
Right.
was dragging or whatever.
Right.
You follow the leader, and I,
Right.
I watched Nat as best I could.
Right.
I've always been that way. I always watched the bodies of the leader.
Right.
Uh, I know it's just a shameless plug, but when I played with George Benson, I always watched his feet. I never knew there was Bijan shoes. That's not a commercial for Bijan, but no, I'm just saying I never
I,
saw
I
these
wouldn't know
exotic
what
shoes.
they are.
But you saw the foot going like that. I saw
Right.
it when I watched Roberta. I'm
Right.
looking to see where her feet's moving under the piano. If she's at the piano, you're dancing with them.
Of
So
course. Of course. Of
yeah,
course.
there's a conductor over there trying to flap his arms, but sorry guys, I'm following the leader. Y'all fire me later, but I'm watching him unless the leader is not dependable. How about
Right.
that? So
Right.
no, there was no click as far as I remember.
Mm,
Uh, with the next song, there was no click, and everybody asked about that, but
that's
no,
crazy.
there wasn't.
All right, let's play the
They
let's play
just
the
didn't.
next song. Hold on. Let me just let me get this dialed in. Here we go. All right, check this out. This is the title track from Never Too Much.
Can't fool myself, I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you, how I spent my day dreaming, planning how to say I love
All right, here we go. Never Too Much. You know,
Marcus Miller on bass.
yes,
I gotta
indeed.
say it, brother. Marcus Miller on bass. George Wadenius, boy, he picked up the first, and
Mm,
Steve Love.
mm,
That's all one little group thing.
unbelievable.
Steve Love,
Right.
but George Wadenius and Steve Love, and of course Nat Adderley Jr. And I don't know the drummer. I heard he's got an afro or something, but
Yes.
I was just hanging out. Now I got to say this. I got to let me get it off my chest.
Okay.
We had to do this song at 11 o'clock in the morning. Luther says, "I got one more song." Luther Vandross, ladies and gentlemen, financed and did this whole Never Too Much album on his own money, his own dime, his own everything. He shopped it to all these record companies. Nobody gave him a sale until, nobody signed him until the great Larkin Arnold. This is historic. Larkin Arnold, this brother signed him to CBS under the Epic thing. And Larkin Arnold's two greatest things he did was sign Luther Vandross, and he signed Marvin Gaye. He got Marvin Gaye to come back to the U.S. He was Sexual Healing or something like that. During that was when he got him. Yeah. But Luther got all these songs, the arrangement, he paid for everything, and we did all of those tunes that's on this record. House Is Not a Home and all that. And so he calls and says, I have one more song. I have one more song. Okay. Well, I need to do it. And we said, well, we have to record with Roberta at 3:00. You know that, right? Yes, I'll be there tonight. But we need to do this. Okay. So we took this 11 o'clock for Luther. Right. It was at Media. They were we did Media, and then we had to go to another place on 48th Street. I can't remember right now. And it was Roberta, Earl Clue, and the great poet. I'll say her name in a minute. But we're there at 11 o'clock. You know, we're doing it. We're doing the song. Luther standing in a hallway booth. We were in the little booth upstairs, little studio upstairs in Media. And we ran it down. We're like, yeah, this is going to be great. We do it. We just had the conversation about one takes, right?
Right.
He does it down. He sings it. He does it. It's great. It's slamming like y'all got. And yes, that's the first take vocal too. All of that stuff. But of course, they wanted to do a bunch of more takes. Marcus tells the world that Buddy kept looking at his watch saying, come on, man, we got to go. We got to go to Roberta. I'm not going to argue with Marcus. I didn't do it like that, but I'm arguing with Marcus. He remembers. Buddy was the one that kept them two from making us go over and over and over. But y'all, it was magic. It was God in the room, as the old guys would say.
Right.
We knocked it out. It was wonderful. We all, but Luther is a meticulous person, and it's his party, and we needed to adhere to him. So we got out of there just in the nick of time, because remember, the guys have to break I didn't have 2 and 3 drum sets to take. They had to break my stuff down and then get it over to Roberta. But everybody talks about how Buddy rushed us out of the studio, but I didn't rush us out. I just was saying,
it's all good. It is all good. No, this was also live back then, from what I understand. You guys were doing a recording session, packing up and going to the next one.
Yes, sir.
And going to the next one, right?
Yes, sir.
So that was kind of what was required. And I would imagine, and I wanted to bring this up as well, because what always strikes me as unbelievable about that album, and not in a bad way, but just incredibly well done, is Luther's rhythm. Okay.
Yeah.
When he sings, he is so in the pocket with the rest of the band, right? Yeah. And he had a background as being a background singer. Like, he had a career as a background singer. So I would imagine that, of course, this was his project and this was his, his baby, so to speak. Nevertheless, he did understand. I'm totally assuming right now, because he was part of that life, and that was part of his life, right? Where you go from one session to the next, to the next, to the next. So I would imagine that he understood where you guys were coming from.
He was the king of that, brother. He was the jingle guy. I mean, he was on chicken commercials. I won't say the brands. I mean, he was on the NBA commercial. Right. He was on everything, man.
On everything,
and he did well. And then he took his money and invested in his projects and he had done that before. And he was with some, I won't name the labels, but it didn't do good there and it didn't do good there. But, third time is the charm. And look, here we are talking about how many years later, you know what I mean?
Right.
Wonderful. It still stands the test of time up against some of this stuff we got coming out today. Still classic music. and a great brother, a great writer, and just a sweetheart of a man.
mm.
And I'm so happy I was able to participate in his musical dream. You know.
Right. Yeah, no, incredible album. This one of those albums where you do put it on, and before you know it, you've listened to the rest of the album.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like you
Goes
don't.
right
It's
into
it one
yes.
song goes into the next, and before
Sequence.
you know
Yeah.
it, you can't get yourself to turn it off.
Yes,
It's just
exactly, exactly.
it's
Very nice music, man.
damn near impossible. So
Yes,
anyway,
yes.
let me go to the next album, which was my introduction to you and to Tom Barney, by the way, which was David Sanborn, right?
Ah, yes.
And this is Straight to the Heart
Yeah.
from, I believe, the David Sanborn album Straight to the Heart Live. What is it
Yes.
called? Hideaway? No, it's Straight to the Heart. Right?
Straight to the heart.
Right. Straight to the Heart is the name of the album.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So here's Run for Cover, which spawned millions of bass players worldwide.
Yes, Lord. That's Marcus's tune.
Yes, check this out. Unbelievable. I don't want to get any longer because it's just like
Yeah, no, you're
I
gonna get in trouble.
easily play the entire song, but
Yep.
you
We
have
did
to
that at SIR on 52nd Street.
exactly.
It used to be the old Cheetah. I know I'm dating myself, but y'all like that stuff. The old Cheetah on 52nd Street. They had so it had a sound. It was an old theater. Then they
Right,
changed it into a club called the Cheetah.
right,
And then after that, SIR bought it. So that big room that was in, that's like the hall.
right,
That's where a
right,
stage was.
right.
So they had a flat stage, and they
Mm,
set it up and put cameras and stuff in and invited an audience.
mm,
Uh, we had only done a few gigs. This was a very spiritual uh, uh, getting together of musicians. You
right.
had Hiram, of course, Hiram Bullock, the great Hiram Bullock, but you had Don Grelnick too.
Yes,
Don Grelnick, yeah, Sanborn. Hamish came to sing.
yes, indeed.
Sanborn, what I was going to say was Sanborn gets anybody in the room. Anybody,
Mm,
Dave call you, Dave, you must come.
right.
So we were all Marcus and I were doing gigs with him,
Mm.
but we were doing Saturday Night Live as well.
I was
We
just
all
gonna
got
say,
together. We
right,
all
right,
got together to do Dave's thing. He was going to do another solo record,
right.
and let's get out there. And Don Grelnick agreed to participate, and we did a bunch of gigs, not a whole lot, like 5 or 6 gigs, and then we came home
Mm,
and went to SIR, this soundstage at SIR, and did this live performance.
right,
And the rest
right.
is history, as they say. You see
Mm.
the Marcus solo with the
I
Mets
hate that.
shirt on. Oh, he's gonna kill me for that. But yeah,
Listen, it's Mets are okay by me. Okay,
me too. Me too. I'm just
I got
saying,
a
New
Mets
Yorkers.
beach towel. Okay,
we're supporting our home teams. What can I
Yes,
say?
indeed.
Sorry,
Well,
sorry, family. You know what I mean? But it was a great spiritual moment because we really didn't labor with this.
right, right,
We came to party and have a good time.
right.
And who knew that Don Gronick, he would pass right after this?
Mm,
I
mm.
mean, Dave Sanborn and Don Gronick have been friends for years and years and done lots of great music before this project. So
Right.
this was like the icing on the cake. And
Mm.
for two old friends to get together,
And
and
play
it was
this.
just an honor
Yeah.
for me to be in the room and keep time for these guys. And I had the best seat in the house to watch
Incredible.
them burn out because they really blazed, and it all was like. And here we go with the one take thing. It wasn't no like do overs. It was boom, 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 and
Yeah.
then out of there.
Incredible,
Yes,
incredible. And it was once again like live in front of an audience.
yes,
You can't really redo the energy, but you guys knew each other already from Saturday Night Live. You guys
yes,
spent a
yes, yes,
lot of time together, right?
yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes.
between you and Marcus Miller, you were at the show for how many years? You were there for 12 years, I believe. Is
Yeah,
that
at
right?
least I was there. I was the original drummer, and I left to go do Bet, and then I came back,
Oh wow.
and I played for a while. Bob Cranshaw was the bass player,
Right,
and
right,
Howard Johnson, and
right,
and a lot of the cats I can name. There's a big band. Of course, all the horn guys were there,
right,
and then um uh they changed up Cranshaw, and I said I got a guy, and Howard Johnson said yeah,
right.
oh yeah, yeah, and then here came Marcus
Mm,
with the braces, but
right,
Marcus,
right.
and it was Paul Schaefer was there, of course. Let's not forget.
Yeah, of course.
Paul never really left until 2/3 the way through when the Blues Brothers thing went down.
Right,
Those guys
right,
went to go do Blues Brothers, and then
right,
everybody kind of came home
right,
again, because I had split to go do, Bet the Rose or whatever I mean, Bette Midler. When I went, nobody knew who Bette Midler
right,
was, but
right,
I went to go do that. I have a family. I mean,
right.
my kids
No.
are grown now, knock on wood, thank God. But I had to, I had to take that opportunity,
Yeah, yeah.
and they didn't fault me for it. A couple
No.
people did, but they weren't family. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
And
right,
as the
right,
old
right.
man said, they don't pay my bills, so I know I'm getting in trouble for that one. So, but yeah, it was a great time for us to all get together and play. But it was a great vehicle to play with different people every week. You
Right,
had Joni Mitchell. I mean, we can name them.
right.
Linda Ronstadt, Patty Austin, Aretha.
Of
Bro, I got to tell this and let it go. Aretha came to the show,
mm,
and we thought she was bringing her band. She was bringing her musical director, and the great registry calls the studio we were at 23rd Street, Chelsea Sound, and they said, "Buddy, you have to go to NBC now."
mm.
I said, "But we're recording." No, you and is Marcus there with you?
Oh, come
Yes,
on.
Marcus is here with me. You and Marcus have to go to NBC now. Okay, because Aretha's sitting there waiting on you. Wait, wait, wait. We're not supposed to be there. No, 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 no. She doesn't have a band. And the NBC people called service and said, get them here now. So me and
Crazy.
Marcus left this guy. I won't say his name. He was very nice to us. We
Mm,
split. We went to NBC.
mm,
There's Penn. God bless him. Penn Darvis, Leon.
mm.
Thank you.
Right.
We all got there, and then Arif Martin came, and Harold Vick came. All the different guys started, coming in,
Right.
and she did her own. I can't turn you loose. If
Right.
I do, I'm gonna lose my mind. And she worked it out right then. Then Arif wrote a horn arrangement, and
On
that
the
was
spot.
our Saturday Night Live song for her. I won't get into the politics of why or who didn't and did not come, did and did not come.
Right.
All I know is that we got a chance to play for the Queen. She
Right.
was very gracious to us. She
Mm,
she did bring her singers later on the weekend, so we ran it down with them. But the Thursday rehearsal was just just us with the Queen. My drums were there. You know what I mean? My drums were there. So,
Of course. Of course. Of
but
course.
but yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a great. That's a great SNL story. There's
Mm,
more, but that
of
one
course.
is right there. Right there.
Incredible. Incredible. That is, I mean, and also like, for people my generation, it is important to figure out, and I have to kind of preface that statement a little bit. It is important to figure out the sound of where you are, right? And you cannot underestimate how important what you guys did was to the sound of New York, right? And to the sound of this city. And this was like, I see it in a sort of in a continuous stream, so to speak, that starts like in the 50s or whenever, with Milt Hinton doing all of his recording work here, right?
Yes,
going
sir.
into going into the Miles Davis bands, right? Going into now we're going into the 60s, going into the band that would later become Stuff, or even before that, going into the whole Chuck Rainey,
King
Bernard Purdy,
Curtis. Don't forget King Curtis, because
King
King Curtis
Curtis.
hired all those guys. All those guys. He's the reason why we have a Chuck Rainey,
Exactly.
Cornell Dupree. All those guys were in his band, and he was the contractor band leader for Atlantic Records.
There you
He
go.
provided the musicians
So
for them.
going into that era, right?
That
And
era,
then
right?
out of that era, going
Yep,
into Stuff, with
yep,
again now Cornell Dupree kind of moving it along, right?
yep.
Going into Stuff, that era, going into that particular Saturday Night Live band with you and Marcus and Bob Cranshaw before Marcus, et cetera, et cetera. Like that is the lineage of the sound of New York, and that cannot be underestimated. Like that is something that is very, very important to realize, at least for me, as a, I don't like the term in my formative years, because I whatever that's supposed to mean, like you don't necessarily stop learning music. You know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly, exactly,
That doesn't exist. You
exactly.
might need some time at the beginning for the bare for the bare minimum, for the most important basics, but then you continue learning, right? So in order to continue learning, it's kind of important to realize the lineage of a sound of wherever you are, and that particular Saturday Night Live and the following um recording music, that the following recorded music influence people, that's cannot be overstated, in my opinion. So that's also another reason why I wanted you on here, because it's important to hear from you, because you did it. You know what I
Thank you.
mean? That is really, really important. So anyway, let's move on to the next. Let's see, what do we have here. This one knocked me off my feet the other day when I was listening to it. Just so everybody knows, I did get together with Buddy beforehand and asked him for a number of albums that stood out in his memory, or either influenced him or that he played on. And here we are. Those are, that's kind of the material that we're pulling from in today's Buddy Williams takeover. And this one here totally knocked me off my feet, which is Rachel Farrell's album.
Oh,
Um,
Rochelle Farrell, boy, that's
Rochelle,
a
sorry,
genius lady.
Rochelle
No, it's all
Farrell.
right. It's all
It's,
right. No, no, she's a genius, man. She can
yeah,
play the piano. She can sing. She got 5 octaves, and I mean real 5 octaves, not that.
yeah, that is crazy. Is it that
No,
what
and
she?
can nail it, perfect pitch. George Duke, and her did wonderful record, but they did one song
Mm,
from the great Barry Eastman. He wrote it
mm,
for them. He wrote and produced this, and he got it in only New York track on that her debut record for this company, because she had
right,
an album before, but I wasn't hip to it,
right,
and
right.
I've got to play with the great Anthony Jackson,
Hello.
and uh Barry Eastman is a great keyboard player and play, but I think she played piano too. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right,
Because she
right.
plays that piano. I mean, plays the piano and sing. And they did this duet with our brother Will Downing.
Mm, 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 mm,
With the
mm.
baritone and oh yes, a
It's
great love
incredible.
song. And
So
I was just glad to be in the room to hear it, much alone play it.
right,
But
right.
Anthony, of course, Anthony took over, but not as a takeover. Anthony was just Anthony. Listen, you bass guys are the gravity. I keep saying that to y'all. Y'all don't like me saying that, but the
No,
bass is the gravity, and y'all hold us right there. So
yes,
this is an example of Anthony holding the just like House is not a home.
right,
Same thing here. His approach, but this is now with that new bass that you
right.
guys was using with the multi strings,
The six
more
string,
than
yeah,
four.
right.
King Curtis used to tell Chuck, tell what's his name, and Cornell. They used to tease Chuck Rainey, the great Chuck Rainey bass player. Hey, you got too many strings on that thing. They pull
Well,
out their knife or something and try to act like they're going to cut a string. I got to say that because you bass heads don't hear poor Chuck Rainey get beat up like that. He is the bass Buddha, but yeah, that guy would they would mess with him so bad with the new. He was an innovator. He'd have extra.
but I'll tell you one thing. Very quick side note. When I did my research for Ain't Too Proud, right?
Oh yes,
I call up all these other bass players. I talked to Will Lee, I talked to Bob Lee in LA. I
yes,
talked to what's his name? Bobby Watson in LA, Lee Sklar,
yes.
Verdine White. The one name that continually, without me prompting them, the one name that always came up, Chuck Rainey.
That's
Listen to
right.
Chuck Rainey, right?
That's right.
So a lot of players and a lot of like people from that generation see him as the the natural follow-up to Jameson, and
Yes.
I mean, if anybody like listening to this doesn't know who Jameson is by now, I can't help you. But
Yeah, yeah. James Jameson, brother.
so
Do your homework.
that is an incredible legacy to live up to, and for all these players without prompting to be like, yeah, Chuck Rainey, he was like the continuation of the Jameson sound, of the
Yes,
Jameson
sir.
approach
Yes,
and
sir.
whatnot.
Yes,
That
sir.
is,
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, that is incredible. But here we are coming back to this album. Here's the song, Nothing Has Ever Felt Like This.
I'm not like you. I'm not perfect. When he sees, will he leave?
There he is. There he is.
What can I do to deserve?
Unbelievable. Will Downing.
Sang, boy. Y'all
Will
sang.
Downing.
Go ahead.
And I just saw, let me just give a quick shout out because my man Bob Lee is on this. Bob Lee, who's a fantastic bass player and
Bob
archivar
Lee. Bob Lee. Great.
Motown, is on this
Thank you.
from all the way from LA. And the one and only Ruben Rodriguez just joined us.
Ruben Rod.
Ruben
Go ahead,
Rodriguez.
bro. I know
Unbelievable.
Rashid is there too. You may not see him, but I know Rashid's in LA looking at you, boy. He loved you. He said, "Who is that guy?" No, he was like that, bro. No, he loves you, boy. Thank you, man. Listen, Rochelle Farrell,
Right.
she cast a spell over all of us that day. We didn't know her like, these people we knew. Some clients, it was immediately family love. And when her and Will sang, she started singing it at the piano, playing it herself. And her and Will were going over what to go. Oh, man. And Anthony was like, Hudson, who is that? Oh, that's Rochelle Farrell. She's, great. Man, who is that? You can't get a rise out of Anthony. So for him to be like that, so
Well,
and Yeah,
means a
yeah,
lot. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was really wonderful, and it wasn't a job thing. Like some things is like, oh, we're at a job and we gotta go. It
Mm-mm.
was very humbling
Mm,
experience because she nailed it. And
mm,
then when we heard the finished thing,
mm.
woo, the thing that they did that day, that was the reference. Wow, they was
Jesus.
great,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
great
No,
song, great writing. Thank you for letting me come hang out, folks.
no, incredible, incredible. One thing that I wondered, let me ask you this question, because I know, uh, from the Motown movie, the Standing in the Shadows of Motown, I know from
Mm,
talking to some of the musicians, like they were very aware of what they were doing, right? While they were doing it, they were absolutely, and they made choices according to that. Like they knew,
exactly,
okay, this is going to be a hit. We are going to make this a hit. So we are going to do this, that, and the other.
exactly.
How was your, or how is your, what is your thought process, so to speak, like when, because you have played on a lot of hits, right? Is it something that you notice right away when you hear the song for the first time, when you feel the band together, or as probably nowadays also, like you probably do some recordings where you're just by yourself, is there some sort of um, immediate feedback from the material, from the people involved? What is it that kind of gives
Okay,
you
I'll do it
information?
from the no side and the yes side.
Right.
When we did Never Too Much, okay, well, of course, when we did House Is Not a Home, it's like, yeah, that's gonna do it, you
Right.
know.
Right.
Uh, but when we did Never Too Much,
Right.
and remember I said earlier in the program that was the last song for the project. He wrote that. Hey, I got one more. I
Mm,
got one more, and we didn't know that he had one more. We knew about the other ones.
mm,
The songs that we Sugar and Spice.
right.
All of those sounded like, oh yeah, that's gonna get radio play. But man, when he did Never Too Much, and we locked it in like that and did it, and he got that going, that
Right.
special feeling.
Right.
We said, wow, that's gonna be something. But
That's gonna take off. Yeah.
there's a few now on the no side. There's some that I've recorded on and go, really? They like that? Not that I didn't like it. I'm just saying, really? Oh wow, that's great. But
Yeah.
who knows? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? The
Right.
people,
Right.
the people have spoken. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
But
Right.
so from the yes side and the no side, the
Right.
no side is there's some tracks that I've done that don't say it, but I was gonna say that word. I'm trying to hold my mouth. No,
It's,
no, no.
hey,
I
this
gotta
is
George, I have to be a good boy. I'm gonna get
okay.
spanked. But
Okay.
I did some music for some guys that had a lot of money. Did I say it right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I guess
All right,
so.
I'll say it. I did some music for some gangsters that had a lot of money, and
Okay.
they want this hit,
Right.
and they think it's going to be a hit, and you go, okay, and you come in and play. I
Right.
didn't fear for my life, but
Right.
everybody's got their own opinion, and they're entitled, and especially since they're paying you. So
Right.
the old saying that I said to you last week: show up,
Shut
shut
up.
up, play the music.
Play. Yeah.
And I can't say the second part because there's kids watching.
Yeah.
So, but you know what that second one was, and the
Right.
second one is the hardest.
Right.
Anyway, these guys had a lot of money, and to them, this was going to be a hit. You make this a hit. Now,
Right.
that's kind of
Well,
hard to do. You come in and you got to, cast the spell
right.
and luckily for us, it did become a hit. And you hear it on funk radio, dance music radio now. And I
Mm,
will not say the artist and I will not say the song.
mm,
My family members know what it is, and I'll tell you later, George. But to answer your question, did I know it was going to be a hit? No, but
mm-hmm.
boy, did I hear it on the radio a lot. And
Right.
the great Frankie Crocker. Listen, Frankie Crocker got hold of, he saw me playing somewhere, and he and I'm born on his birthday, so I
Mm-hmm.
was always, say hello to him and kind of, get out of his way. I'm just the drummer in the band. He said,
Right.
what you working on? I said, well, we just finished doing Luther Vandross's record. He went, really?
Mm.
I said, because he knows Luther from doing jingling, doing stuff,
Right.
and he's had his things out before, and nothing happened. He said, here, and he wrote down on it his card, but a special number on his
Mm.
card. Tell Luther to call me.
Mm.
Tell him to call me, and I'll hook in our language now. I'll hook him up.
Right.
So I called Luther. I said I saw Frankie Crocker at blah blah blah's gig. I won't give him up,
Mm.
and he said, "Oh, thank you." And the next day, Luther calls me back. He says, "Buddy, turn on the radio, and there's House Is Not a Home
Oh,
playing."
come on.
And I said, "Oh, great, Lou." He said, "Buddy, that's the second time he's played it,
Oh,
folks."
wow. Wow.
Frankie Crocker was so impressed and so in love with the performance, and he was so that guy that
Mm.
he could play House Is Not a Home, the entire thing, at the drive home drive home at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon on WBLS
Right.
3 whole times,
Mm.
all the way through, because Frankie
Mm.
Crocker was the program director. He was the
Right.
man. He's
Right.
still the man.
Right.
So I, I was amazed that Frankie would play it like that. But yes, it got introduced to the family here in New York, and that's
Right.
before things went global. But
Right.
when other disc jockeys and the trades would say, Luther Vandross has got a new record, and Frankie Crocker played it in New York
Right.
3 times on the debut day, that boom,
That's money in the bank,
straight to the moon.
I
and
guess.
and
Yeah.
that's one of the answers to your question. Did you know? Yes, I
Right.
knew spiritually and vibe wise. To me, wow,
Right.
that's going to be great. But did
Right.
I know that somebody like a Frankie Crocker or somebody in the industry was going to give it that boost? I didn't know that. So
Of
he was
course not.
very lucky.
Of course
Thank
not.
God.
Mm,
Okay, I'll
mm,
stop,
mm, mm.
George. Sorry.
No, no, no,
I
no,
know we
no.
don't have that much time.
Listen, it's all good. We have as much time as we want to take.
Okay, brother.
There's nobody here,
Okay,
giving us a hard time.
good, good.
Listen, I wanna play one more. First of all, I wanna just do a quick shout out. Because I saw that Ruben Rodriguez joined, and he is the bass player on your single La
Yeah, oh,
Costa,
yes, 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 yes.
and
He most certainly is.
I just put it into the comments. So if anybody is interested, I put La Costa into the comments, the link for to buy the single of Buddy's music um on iTunes or on Apple Music. Um please support a great
It's
artist. Please.
everywhere. Amazon, Apple,
Amazon.
anywhere that you can buy it, you can get it. And
Okay.
thank you very much. And thank you. I have to say, the author is Aziza
Right.
Miller.
Right.
Aziza. In the day, her name was Linda Williams when she was the MD for Natalie Cole. She
Mm,
wrote that on Natalie Cole's gig. She
mm,
wrote it, and Natalie heard it,
mm.
and they came up with some lyrics. But that's Aziza's song. It says
Incredible.
Linda Williams in the credits on the paper trail with BMI ASCAP, whoever
Right.
she signed with. I can't remember right now. Don't. I'm
Right.
sorry, folks,
No,
but
no.
her name is Aziza, and Aziza's a great composer. Listen, Ahmed Jamal,
Mm,
Jorge Dalto, and lots more people have covered this song. But I told Aziza when I was playing with her band, I still play with her when I can. But I said, sis, if I ever get a chance to do my own thing, I really want to do your song. And so
mm,
luckily she blessed us with arrangement. She played the keyboards.
mm.
Ruben Rodriguez, Gary Fritz is playing percussion. Reagan Whiteside, that sister can play that flute, man.
Mm, mm,
And
mm, mm.
and the great Will Downing, thank
Will
you, Will.
Downing.
He came and did it. He said send it to me, and he did it at his house. And then he sent it back to me. He said, I think I did too much. I went, no, no, I'm not turning any of your tracks off. Turn the drums off and just let you sing. But please, I hope the folks enjoy it. I know shameless plug, but I hope they enjoy it.
No, no, that's totally there's no shame in selling your music. That's what we do basically. We sell services, we sell music. That's what we do. I also want to just let everyone who is watching know that I am also putting my own uh donation information into the
nice.
comments. So if you want to support the cause, support George's Bass Chat, please make a donation. I very much appreciate it. There is some work that goes into these videos, and I'm very happy to do it. I'm very happy, very happy to
Here you go, George.
present present this material to you guys, to ladies and gentlemen. But I do want to let people know that this is what we do here. All right. Um, so getting back to the music. What's going on, LT? Leo Traversa is on.
Woo! It's another bad boy right there.
Yes, indeed. Actually, that ties in very well to the next song that I want to play. And it's gonna be like one of our last ones, I believe. But anyway, this is by another great singer, great musician by the name of Tanya Maria. And this is a song called Bronx. Tanya Maria with Buddy Williams on drums, and I believe Anthony Jackson on bass. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yep.
Here we go. Here we go. Tanya Maria. The song is called Bronx. And I will see if I can get that other song up as well. Let me see.
Listen, Tanya Maria is a genius musician. Very,
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people don't. You know, she should have more recognition. I can't say it enough. I love her as an artist. Her creativity. She writes little songs right on the spot.
Mm,
It hooks you like this. You're in. You play it. Boom.
yeah.
There's some folks have a long formula, 15 pages of music,
Right.
but
Not
not
her.
this lady. This
Not
lady,
her.
she has it, but you don't have to labor with her. She's
Mm,
and just a sweetheart. I just wish she would be around more or
mm,
have a better shot at the industry. I'm
mm.
sure she's doing great in Europe,
Yeah.
but
I know
but
that
I,
she's,
I,
I
I
mean,
can't say it enough. A lot of people,
yeah.
I feel,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
great, great, great. But I heard a big band thing of her with the German guys.
With the WDR, Cologne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great record too. But
Yeah.
I had
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good time with that lady and Anthony, myself,
Mm,
Don Elias.
mm,
Sometimes it was
mm.
Sammy Figueroa. Tom Barney played on one of those records with us too. We're
Yes,
at
yes, he
Electric
did.
Lady.
Yes, he
Great,
did.
very great music with this lady, and I just wish she would have a wider recognition. More people check her out. If you
Right.
can check her out, the sisters, please.
Yeah.
That's a black lady to sit down at that piano. You don't know. You see her walk in and you're unassuming.
Right.
Some folks have that look about them that you go, oh yes, well, She comes in, she puts the purse down, and
And it's
away
off.
we go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me play real quick a 1 minute sample of La Costa because
Oh
we
yes,
we
yes, yes.
just
I'm
talked
sorry.
about it.
I messed this up. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, 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 not a problem. Here we go. Here we go. Just a minute of La Costa before iTunes
Yeah, sorry
shuts
for the
us
long
down.
intro, folks. Just it's love songs, you know. You getting that
No.
love thing. You set it up. You're on the beach. La Costa means the key, the coast. You
Yes.
know.
Yes.
But check it out. You'll hear Will in there, especially the Will Downing lovers. They thank you, Will Downing. Will Down. Listen, I play on a lot of Will Downing records from the beginning when nobody knew.
Yeah.
Just like that's what has been my blessing. I'm able to play with people. I go and play with folks that nobody ever heard of.
Right.
Nobody has a clue. You
Right.
play on their records, and then they get out there and away they
Right.
go.
Right.
So I've been fortunate enough to participate in a lot of folks' musical jump offs, if I
Right.
may say it like that, and I'm
Right.
glad to be there. Will Downing is a Brooklyn homeboy,
Mm.
and anytime we could get together, I would go, hey man, can you come? Yes, I'm there.
Yeah.
Call Butch in the drums, and we go. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
Quick. So
And
yeah,
for
I'm
those
I-
for
I'm
those
glad when he came to help me do mine.
right. And for those who don't know, Butch is your drum
Oh,
tech.
Butch Watson is my everything. Yeah, he's a drum tech, but he's the production manager.
Yes.
Put the meat in the seat. He's the Yoda.
Yeah. It's true. That's
I put it to you this way: if it wasn't for Butch, I wouldn't be able to go to the gig because that's why I have a back. At my
right.
age of trying to carry drums and put the thing in the car or the demand or the stuff, no man is an island. I
Right.
love that brother. He's been with me all of life. I've saved his life, and he's definitely saved my life.
Right.
Because with my age, I wouldn't be able to lift. I can barely carry the stick bag, and you know what I mean, and a snare drum. Butch is the mule, but he's been doing it for years, and he's worked with Chaka.
Right.
What's his name? Our brother that sings high notes. Forever, forever, forever. I'll say his name in a minute.
It'll come.
But he's worked Chaka. He worked with Chaka for years. He did George with me. Of course,
Right.
he worked with me with Roberta.
Right.
Uh, but Chaka stole him. I brought him to work with me
Mm.
with Chaka, and she kept him, which was great for him.
Mm.
He just finished doing a Chic tour,
Right. I want
opening for Cher. I can
exactly.
keep going. In Living Color.
Mm. Mm.
But
Mm. Mm.
thank
Mm.
God for Butch Watson is his name, and he's the best thing that happened to me
And
besides my kids.
yeah. And also for people who don't know, like when you hang out with Butch and you play a gig with Buddy, um, yeah,
Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Maxwell. I'm
Okay,
sorry, y'all.
there we
Okay, go
go.
ahead.
But when you hang out with Butch before, after, during the gig, there is a well of information that comes from him because there is no music that Butch Watson has not heard yet. That doesn't
Yeah.
exist. Okay. If you want to have an in depth conversation about Miles Davis from the 60s or Cannonball Adderley or Roy Ayers, Butch Watson is your man. Okay, so
And he was
that's
around for that. He was around. He was there in the beginning days of what we now know as Parliament, Funkadelic, all that. Bernie, he was the tech for Bernie Worrell. I can
there you
keep
go.
going.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
took care
No,
of a lot
that's
of us, and we're thankful for him.
yes, yes, yes,
Sorry,
yes,
George.
yes. No, 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 no.
Sorry.
That's I just wanted to give that shout out to Butch because he's a really important figure, and I think that
Amen.
that needs to be just yeah, that needs to be acknowledged, more than anything
Thank you.
else. Hold on, let me see what else do we have here. It's now we're a little over an hour. Let's play one more track. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Let me see. What do we have here? Oh, Angela Bofill. And this was one track that we talked about, and that's called Under the Moon and Over the Stars. Check this out.
Oh, yeah. Under the moon, over the skies.
Over the
Great music, man.
There we go. Over the sky.
Like the wings of a bird, my heart soaring way up high, under the moon and over the sky.
There we go. Angela Bofill, Under the Moon and Over the Sky. What a
Angela
fantastic track.
Bofield is from New York here, the Bronx, up early uptown Harlem,
Mm,
up just above the Apollo, Broadway, 125th Street, around that area.
right,
She sang in All City Chorus. I went
right.
to High School of Music and Art. Me and Dave Valentine went to High School of Music and Art. Uh, footnote, side note, Dave Valentine, when we went to Music and Art together, he played the drums with me in the percussion section, and they didn't let him play the flute until Herbie Mann came to the school. Our teacher, Bill Fisher, had Herbie Mann come to the school and play a concert. And he said to Herbie Mann, "This is our flautist, Dave Valentine. He's a great guy." So Herbie handed him his gold flute, saying, "Here, kid, check this out."
Mm.
And Dave started playing it like that. And of course, he snatched it out and give me that back. So, but Dave Valentine and Dave Valentine would let me go play Latin gigs with him and Nicky Marrero.
Right.
And they told me about an Angie Bofield, but I also met Angela Bofield via my boys like Stacey Gaines and the solo voice people that was in All City Chorus. So she had I say all this in retrospect because she would come and hang at our school
Right.
after school to go home.
Right.
She lived down the hill in Harlem behind where we went to school at Music and Art, the real Music and Art in the middle of City College, like I told you last week.
Right.
So she would come and hang with us, and I saw her and Dave and everybody said, "Hey man, she writes great tunes, great music." We did music together. She did a demo at my Uncle Bookie's house. Uncle Bookie, Walter Booker had his own recording studio in his apartment, and we did demos on her. She shopped around and tried to get something, and she's a great writer. And then Dave Grusin, of course, Dave Valentine said to Dave Grusin and Larry Rosen, "Hey, check this lady out. She can sing."
Right.
They signed her immediately. I was on the road. I get a phone call on my answering machine at home. Remember those things? Answering machine.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, so Buddy called me right away. I called her. She says, "I'm getting ready to do my record and I want you to play on it." And it's with Dave Grusin and Larry Rose. I went, "Dave Grusin, I'm in LA right now." He takes the phone from me and says, "What are you doing there?" "I'm here." I was like, "Dave, I'm on a gig." He said, "Get here quick. Come on." He he was teasing him and Larry were teasing me, but
Right, right.
come on home and do this. Come on. So that started my life with GRP Records. The great Francisco Centeno, Frankie.
Yes, yes,
He's playing bass there. I
yes.
picked this song because this was that type of songs that there was odd meter, but you never know it was odd meter. It
Right,
just flowed,
right,
flow,
right.
flow. Yeah, you
It's
got the
just
Africa vibe there, but it just
totally
flowed.
smooth.
It painted a picture.
Right.
She wrote that song. She wrote. She got inspired by another singer we know, and she did a copyright. I can't say the words, but
Yeah,
she
all
got
good.
inspired for another singer we know. This was her version, her
Right,
homage to that person.
right.
Uh, and the rest is history. That's why I picked this song instead of "I Try." I know you Angie folks are gonna say that. Leave me alone with that.
I didn't
It
bring
is
it
a
up.
no, not you, not you. I'm saying it to your audience. Leave me alone with that. Yes, I try. Yes, I played on I Try. Yes, I try. Folks, it's a bass show. I'm trying to stay within the
Yeah, but
bass man's
it
thing.
it is your takeover. You are
Yes,
taking this
so and
over,
in my
right?
takeover, I'm trying to
Yes.
give y'all the bass thing. Frankie Centeno is great bassist. He gave you a picturesque movement. You guys are the gravity. I just played my
Mm,
little part on the key. Set the big boom, bing, boom, bing,
mm.
now, it's not a theory class, but yo, that was not your boogum boogum beat, and we flowed right through that like the jungle that
Right,
it was
right,
Africa,
right.
and right to to the in and out. Great music, man. So that's my
Yeah.
choice. I know y'all want all them other. Y'all can listen to I Try and all that. He'll put it on the thing for you when they do the.
I'll put it into
I
the
know he'll
playlist.
put it in his
Yeah.
playback thing, y'all. But don't beat me up about I Try. I'm trying to do my bass thing. There's my disclaimer, George. See, I got you off the hook so they don't cuss you out for not playing I Try. Because believe me, when they say Angie, the first thing they say is
Why
I
didn't you play
Try,
I
whether I'm
Try?
on the
Right,
screen or not. You know what I mean?
right.
Never mind the inspiration of writing her songs. Let's talk about this Africa tune right here with the great bass part and the
Right.
great bass playing of Francisco
Francisco.
Centeno. Hi,
Yes.
Frankie, we love you.
Yes, we
Okay,
certainly
I'm
do.
gonna be quiet.
We've mentioned a couple really really fantastic bass players, and I want to just give them a shout out because they've been so important also to my development, and they've all played with you, and that's how it all kind of connects, right?
And that's why
Um,
I'm saying this because it
we were
all hooks
talking,
up.
like, we have Marcus Miller in there, we have Anthony
God bless.
Jackson in there, we have
Yep,
Ruben Rodriguez in there, we got
yep,
Tom Barney, and we got
yep.
Francisco Centeno, right?
And
And
don't forget Chuck Rainey.
Chuck Rainey, right? We have Walter Booker, right?
Yes, sir.
And
All bass.
the great late Bob Cranshaw.
Yes, sir. Bob Cranshaw was the godfather of all of this.
I
He
mean,
taught us. He taught us to the work part, the work ethic,
right,
the music ethic,
right,
the health thing. He
right,
was one of the guys that was like, go get your checkup, prostate, colonoscopy. That's what
right,
saved me with the colonoscopy. But get your health thing. He was like the big godfather of everybody in everybody's ear about,
right.
well, you need to check your that guy, and not to mention all the great music he played on.
Yeah,
He laid the ground for us. When you say the eras of music, Bob Cranshaw was on TV, Merv Griffin, all those different shows like that.
yeah.
Before there was Saturday Night Live. That
and
was
and on a ton of Blue Note records. Let's not
yes,
forget that.
all of
And
those
like,
classic
this is
records,
incredible.
all of those classic records, a dynasty of records.
Right,
Any one of those things he could have retired on and said, "See you," but he
right,
he continued
right,
and he helped us and he nurtured us. He made it possible for us to do what we do.
right,
TB Tom Barney, man, that's my man. That's his dad. That's
right,
it, bro. Come
right.
on. Okay, sorry,
And
George. Sorry.
no, 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 no. That is important. It is important to get these names out there and to acknowledge who these players are. This is very very important because very often, these names and these players and what has happened and what they have done, what you have done, does not get the acknowledgement that it deserves. Yet at the same time, literally millions of people have listened to this music and have been influenced by it, and picked up the instrument, or like in my case, sort of subconsciously saw themselves in you guys being on stage. So it's very, very important to acknowledge, in my opinion, who the architects or the building stones of a particular sound are.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So, folks, we have been on the air now for an hour and 15 minutes. I think we've taken up enough time of the great Buddy Williams.
Thank you, George. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you once
Thank you for
again.
the bass players. I'm
Oh,
saying it for the bass players. Thank you,
oh.
George, for covering for them bass players, because they don't get to hear about, say, in one sentence, Chuck Rainey, Anthony, Bob Cranshaw. You know what I
Right.
mean?
There you
Tom
go.
Barney, the hidden secret. That's Tom Barney's a secret weapon. He plays
Jeez.
Steely Dan, da 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 da. He played McCoy. He played with all Herbie. He come and sit down and play with those guys, and then go home, and nobody ever know. He and I did Kenny G
Mm.
at the. He's gonna kill me. He and I did Kenny G at the Blue Note, and Kenny G was gonna do a gig and just be him and his keyboard guy.
Right.
And the
Right.
keyboard guy said, "Oh, no, 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 no. You can't go to the Blue Note and have your fans stand out there and they get in there and it's just me and you. You're not going to get me killed. So I'm going to call Tom and Buddy." And we
Right.
went and did a night with Kenny G. He'd never played there before. He
Uh-huh.
gave the money away. He gave money to the waitress, the wait staff and stuff. His son came and played guitar on one
Mm.
song. And my point is, there's Tom Barney,
Right.
secret weapon.
Secret
Tom
weapon.
Barney has been on a lot of great stuff, and folks need to know about brothers like that, like a Tom Barney,
Yeah.
Leo Traversa, you name, Ruben
Right.
Roddy. These guys go and represent your instrument. Listen, don't get me started about George. Every show that George is on was a Tony. Y'all are going, who is this George guy? George. Every show that George is on got a Tony. Memphis.
Yes. Yes.
Um, the one that Audra McDonald did as Billie
Lady
Holiday.
Day.
Thank
Lady
you.
Day. Yeah.
And the one he's on right now, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. So, folks,
Yes.
when y'all say, well, who is this George guy? This is George Farmer. Who
Yes.
is George? George Farmer. Great bass player, great musician, and a great friend. And I told y'all last week I came to play at a church gig, and I was hooked from then on, because I didn't know. And later on, he told me who he was, but he came and played that music and healed the room. And we did it, and he heated up the church long enough so we could play it and get out of there, because there was no
There was
heat
no
in
heat.
Riverside Church on a winter day Christmas show. I'm going to stop now, but I have to say this for this brother, because that's why we are on here, because this young man made it possible for us to participate and learn something that we weren't aware of. And I thank
No.
you for your platform and your love for the music and for us. And let's hear it for the bass players. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, buddy. And thank you, buddy. Thank you so much for being, who you are, and for contributing all this music. Because that is an incredible, to live up to, and that keeps me going. And I know that I'm not only talking for myself. So thank you so
My
much
pleasure,
for,
bro.
and thanks for taking the time. All right, folks, it's been wonderful to have you all. I want to thank everyone in the audience. Thanks so much for joining us and coming every week for this 1 hour plus of a live video here at George's Bass Chat. We got a couple great shows coming up, great live videos coming up next week. I'll be talking about an album that influenced me very much, which is Baduism Live by the great Erykah Badu. Get ready for something, because that is one hell of an album, and there's a lot of music in there. So, as I say
Hubert
every
Eves.
week, yes, Hubert Eves
Hubert
the
Eves,
fourth.
boy, that's one of them Eves. He's from that Hubert Eves tree.
Unbelievable.
And
Unbelievable. The
and
dude.
He's another one that's like Gravity. I'm sorry, folks. I got it. It's a bass show.
No. I'm so
That's
glad that you.
Gravity right there.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
two notes. Two notes. And maybe three if he plays a little other thing. Come on.
Yeah.
And
How do you do
Call
that?
Tyrone. Call
Unbelievable.
Tyrone. That's them live. Him and Poochie.
Yeah.
I say
It's
no
over.
more.
It's over. It's over. And just to give everyone a little taste of what's about to come, this dude, Hubert Eves, he manages to play the entire album, right? The entire concert. And then at the last song, he manages to somehow, and I don't know whether this was arranged or whether he just came up with this himself, but either way, it doesn't matter. He quotes himself from the beginning of the concert. How the hell do you how do you do that? Like, he quotes himself while playing the groove. He quotes all the other songs that he just played. Unbelievable. So anyway,
Genius cats, man. Genius.
Yes, for
Comes
real.
from a
For
genius
real.
family. His father wrote all that music for D Train. That kid heard all of that. I mean, he played the cowbell. They come from there's three generations of them Hubert Eves guy dynasty.
Right.
So I got to give it up, brother. Hey, woo.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
So that's gonna come next week. And as I said, I want to thank you all for joining in and hanging out with us for a little over an hour. I hope you got some good information. I hope you got some good motivation out of this. I want to once again say thanks to the great Buddy Williams for sharing his time with us and his knowledge. And as I say every week, be cool, be kind, and remember, we only have each other. So I'll see you all next week. Later, buddy.
Thanks, George.
All right.